Hey team, it's James from Time Quarterly. I wanted to do something a little different. I don't know whether anyone saw this top 9 pictures of Instagram last year. It's quite a cool little program. It's a really easy to run script that someone's just mocked up, put onto a website. Really, really clever. They're pushing this new app that they're going to be making, and a load of celebrities jumped on it. But interestingly, some people didn't jump on it, and that made me think, I wonder if there's a reason behind that. So I wanted to just take a look, and we'll have a little recap over exactly who did, who didn't, and maybe the reasons that they did or did not. Now, we're pretty new to Instagram. We've only done a few posts and weren't going for the whole of the year, so we're not going to do ourselves because that would be kind of pointless, because we're still getting to grips with that and setting it all up with the watch straps that we're doing. But one person that you may have heard of who is quite into watches is a guy called Anich. He didn't post up, from what I've seen, a top 9, and I think the reason that he didn't, because he's meant to be a watch account, and perhaps the reason that he didn't post up one of these top 9 pictures as everyone else did, is because there's not actually any watches to be seen on his top 9 posts. So what that means is the top most popular 9 posts on the Watch Anich Instagram account, which at the time of making this video has got 1.5 million followers. There's not a watch to be seen. I mean, it's all car shots, and it's not even, an in-car shot featuring a watch like this one here, which looks like to be an Zonda. I mean, yes, granted, they're absolutely awesome pictures, but it makes me think that Anich has kind of cracked a larger market. He's not just about watches anymore, and it looks like he's really smashed it with the car bloggers and the car lovers, because getting almost 36 million likes is pretty ridiculous. You'll be able to compare that with some of the other accounts. I've done a top 10. So Anich is my number 1, which was really interesting. No watches to be seen at all. So if we skip back one and we go on to the next one, then I wanted to check out the Billionaires Club. So if you haven't heard of them, they're a huge account. They've got 2.1 million at the time of writing. And again, every single shot is cars, apart from this one of a pretty awesome kind of concept hotel. And they got 68 million likes across just under 4,000 posts, which is pretty good going. But it's really interesting. So their top picture was this speedboat matching the Lamborghini, which I don't know whether anyone saw. It got reposted by a lot of different accounts. The gold fleet, the 6x6, some pretty cool pictures there. And interesting to see that kind of plain i8 shot. That's kind of interesting. And equally the blacked out Testarossa, I really like that. I think that's awesome. And the 6x6 getting a lot of love across these two accounts that we've checked out so far. Next on my list was an account which I'm sure, again, you've probably all heard of. It's Black_list. The Blacklist team are absolutely huge. I heard a rumor earlier last year that they turned down, I think it was £1 million, just straight cash for their account when it was on 1.5 million. They're now on 2.2 million. So interesting to see whether that's going to keep going. I don't know. I mean, we're talking crazy numbers here. An Instagram account is worth £1 million. That's just crazy to me. But again, this is like a more of a car account, this one, so it kind of makes sense that everything should be a car or a bike. I love that they've got the tumbler from Batman. That's really cool. Crazy to see one of their most liked pictures is a Beetle. I mean, I didn't see that coming. That's pretty mad. This custom bike is pretty absolutely epic. Really cool to see a GTR. I love tuner cars as opposed to the exotics, so that's pretty cool myself. And this concept bike is the first one, and they got absolutely huge numbers. I mean, that's why their valuation is so massive, because their engagement is huge. 113, almost 114 million likes across only under 3,000 posts. If you compare that, I mean, the Billionaires Club had almost 4,000 posts, and they got nowhere near that amount of likes. So it's really, really big stuff from Bloodless. They're a huge, huge account. So another one with pretty big traction is This Is a Man's World. Let's take a look at that. So this is their top 9 pictures. They got 31 million likes. I mean, just, again, that number is ridiculous. But they are all about animals, it seems. They've cracked animals. They've got a shark, a dog, a lion. It's interesting, right? Tiger, husky. It's crazy. to see these huge accounts and you think, okay, you know, I kind of know their target demographic. But then again, boom, this account, This Is a Man's World, is all about animals. It's crazy. And these guys, that's pretty mental. Hanging off a helicopter rung, it looks like. And then this biking into paradise is pretty cool. But everything else is animals, which is kind of interesting. So we'll step down a little bit because This Is a Man's World, at the time of writing, they've got 1.5 million. So let's step down into the 100,000s. An account which I really like, which is kind of cool, is Patekaholic. I don't know whether anyone follows them. They basically post up the choice Patek shots, and they've got way more followers than the actual Patek account, which is pretty crazy, and they just storm ahead of any of the kind of fan accounts. They're massive. They've got 283k as of writing. So you've got a cool kind of triple here with the Skeleton AP, Daytona, Kevin Hart, he's big in the watch team. Some cool kind of Patek shots there. The engraved amazing repeater, that's pretty cool. So some nice shots there. And they've got 5 million, which is, again, just a ridiculous number. Which is pretty cool. What Us Men Like is an account which kind of sprung out of nowhere for me. It's really left field. They've now got 313,000 followers, which is amazing to me. They've absolutely smashed it. And again, I don't know whether anyone saw this account coming, but it kind of came out of nowhere for me. I remember looking at them and they were on like 60k, and then they teamed up with Anil, they teamed up with Anich, and then just blam, they exploded. So they got some cool shots here. That's a really nice collection shot to be the winner there. That's impressive. You got the Cartier Love. That's pretty cool. Very Rolex heavy, right? Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really cool having 2 collection shots. That's very Anil inspired, the gold collection. That's pretty cool. Yeezy's getting in there for the middle. That's quite nice and symmetrical, but very Rolex centered, which is cool. So What Us Men Like, love the Rolex Times. Another blog that I really like is The Model Gentleman. So let's check them out and see what their kind of fan base was, because they post a lot of lifestyle. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's really varied, right? You've got a car, an animal, you've got a woman, you've got animal, you've got a lifestyle kind of scenery shot, you've got another car. Rule number one, never be number 2. I like that. And then this, random kind of lifestyle shots. And then this is plugging the model interiors, which is another really cool site, which I like. So that's kind of cool. I really like their account and what they're doing with it. I think that's really cool. Another account that you have probably heard of, just to jump up in numbers a little bit, the Model Gentleman has got 91,000. Daily Watch has 1.8 million. So let's check what's hot on the Daily Watch site. Now, they post a lot of their own pictures with their bracelets, right? And again, we're looking at a really heavily Rolex-centered account with 1, 2, 3. That's a cool custom. I wonder if that's Titan Blackout or Label Noir. Another loom shot. You've got the Bugatti, which is awesome. That's a shot that Anich made famous for me, at least. You got the Rolex and Patek, Rolex. So again, Daily Watch, and it seems the popularity in general of watches is very much with Rolex there. Another account which I follow, which some of you may, is Cigar Smoking Model. Had the opportunity to meet the person behind this account once or twice, and they're a lot of fun, and that's pretty cool. They've got some varied shots there, and it's refreshing because all of these shots that I've seen, we've only seen one picture of a woman not wearing much, which is kind of cool, right? Because I just get bored of all that. Like, Bomberg's marketing, like, just really is just, to me, it's really crass. So this is kind of cool to see like these hugely popular accounts getting likes and getting follows for actual content rather than just getting a woman naked, like, which is kind of, in my opinion, a really rubbish way of marketing. But I mean, look at these shots. So Halloween was super popular. That's not kind of the best collection shot for me, so that's kind of cool that was the most popular one. Getting a gun in there, that's interesting. I'm not so sure of that. But really interesting that the Cigar Smoking Models account, because he's posting up a lot of pictures of watches and doing a lot of collaborations, that only one of his most popular pictures features a watch. And it's very, very minimal watch feature. It's not a tool in the foreground, right? You got a buckle there, but you can't tell what the watch is. So that's kind of interesting. And equally, only 1, 2, 3, 4 have got his logo on there. So I'd assume these might be collection shots from other people, perhaps. Although maybe that's him with the shotgun. Who knows? And then the last one to round off my top 10, I wanted to do more of a kind of lifestyle account. And there's this account called Stylist that's got 1.5 million followers. So huge, huge, huge. Just to give kind of a feeling of what the style was of 2015, or at least what the most liked style was of 2015 on the biggest Instagram accounts. So that's pretty big, 17 million, that's quite a lot. But if you compare that, they've got 1.5 million followers. If you compare that to Blacklist, who had over 100 million likes, and they've only got 2.2 million, that's pretty low like rating, right? That's how I judge an account. Like, you can't just base it on followers, you've got to base it on engagement, because these days people can buy followers, and when you go into the hundreds of thousands, if you buy 50,000 or even 100,000 followers, like, it's difficult to notice just bang, like a jump up. No one really notices once it's showing, 1.5 to 1.6 million. You could buy like 50,000 followers and the number wouldn't move, but instantly you've just chalked up 50,000 with barely any kind of realism to it. So buying followers is a real issue. So I definitely use metrics to follow this. We've got 2 Adidas features with the leaf there, which is kind of cool. Some nice fashion shots. Interestingly, they've featured these shoes rather than the Yeezys, which I thought were the most hyped shoe of the year, which is kind of cool. So yeah, but that's an interesting roundup. Like, those are my kind of top 10, and I'd be really interested to see if I've missed out anything that you guys or you girls would love me to feature. What's your kind of go-to accounts that you all follow? Because I think I've covered the big ones there. There's definitely a few that I have kind of missed off. So let me know in the comments what I have missed off, and if it would be interesting to see a second video. And equally, if you were wondering where these top 9 pictures come from, this is the website here, right? So it's 2015 best9.com. Really, really clever thing by this team behind it, or perhaps just the one guy behind it. And yeah, they're bringing an app to town, which is kind of cool. So match with other Instagrammers. I don't know whether that's going to be anywhere near as popular as what this is, because you're seeing major celebrities posting up. I think they had a feature on their homepage actually. Yeah, there you go. Taylor Swift was using it, Gomez was using it, Kim was using it, Beyonce. Like, I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that, right? So if everyone else is tweeting it all about, I don't know whether their app's going to go that big, whether it's possible to go that big, but pretty cool stuff. So yeah, let me know in the comments what I've missed off. That'll be really interesting to spark some debate and get some chat going, and maybe if this is popular, I'll do a second video on it just to kind of highlight what the top things are. But it was really interesting to see that Anich's shots are most popular shots are all of cars. He's really cracked the market. He started off as a watch blog, he's now doing travel because he travels so much. He's now doing cars, and cars have actually overtaken watches in popularity on his feed, which is pretty crazy. I suppose it is a bigger market and more people appeal to cars rather than watches, but it's interesting to see. So yeah, I hope this video was worthwhile. Hope it was interesting. Drop a like if it was, and stay subscribed for the next video. Thanks, team.